Good evening. Welcome in to the latest edition of State of the Tigers here on PowerMizzou.com. Brought to you as we are every single week by my insurance agent, friend of mine, friend of the program, friend of Mizzou Athletics, James Carlton. State Farm Insurance in Webster Groves, Missouri. You can check him out at carltoninsurance.net. You can give him a call at 314-961-4800. Was texting with James a little bit earlier today. He's got some NIL stuff in the works. As he mentioned a couple weeks ago, he's working with Kevin Coleman and Josiah Trotter this year, but he's got some other things happening down the road. So get in touch with James, save some money on your insurance, and help him help out your favorite teams through NIL and things of the like. So tonight, what we are going to do is, we're going to give you a few of our thoughts early on. Bring on Gerard Hamilton, who has had an easy day, nothing going on in Gerard's life, easy weekend, not busy. Gerard's good. Just he's been sitting around doing absolutely nothing, waiting for this show to start. What's up, man?
Yeah, that's I hope y'all can read between the lines. Life out here trying to get down on me for real.
It's not. This is not Gerard bitching about his job. This is not work related. No, Gerard got some life stuff going on, but he wanted to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, ask me about the offensive line and all the fun stuff to get my mind off it. Let's go.
Right. So that's where we're going to start. But so what we are going to do tonight, we got some voicemails, put out the call. We got, I don't know, something like 10, 12 voicemails, something like that. So we're going to go through and make the people a part of this show. But before we get to that, I think there's only one place to start. And Booth and Tobacco asked the question, what should the level of worry be on left tackle? And really, it's not just left tackle. It's the offensive line in general, because I don't think anybody is necessarily panicked that Caden Green is playing left tackle. But give me the panic meter, like 1 to 10 level, Gerard, when the timeline here, and I think anybody who either is watching this show knows what's going on. Caden Green to left tackle, Curtis Piegler right guard, Dom Jadis left guard. But this all started when, after the scrimmage, Eli Drinkwitz kind of said, we got some changes coming. So you watched the scrimmage. I mean, did you watch that scrimmage and think, ooh, left tackle's a problem? What was your takeaway there before you guys talked to Drink?
I think the media members as a whole, we were thinking about like Javen Richardson and just the offensive line play. And I remember us thinking, this is how you know we're detailed, but we're not coaches, because
you're not
we
experts,
were all saying,
right?
like, I don't remember the offensive line. There was obviously a couple, sacks or safeties or whatever, but I felt like anytime a quarterback got sacked or a safety, it was more because someone was holding on to the ball maybe a little bit. Well, no, not the safety. On the safety, they got pressure real quick. But for the most part, throughout the day, we were thinking the offensive line, they're fine. As far as pass protection, the defensive line, they were doing well in the run game for sure. But in pass protection, it was like, it's cool. I'm not seeing Javen Richardson get destroyed, or it didn't feel like it. So, okay. And same thing with Daniel Blood. I had Daniel Blood for 6 catches. He did have 3 drops. But if you asked anybody that day, it felt like he had 20 catches. He was involved every time. And when we asked Drink about him, he was like, Daniel Blood, he's been real consistent. Today, he was not consistent. He was not a fan of Daniel Blood. That's how we talked about the left tackles. When someone asked us, Javen Richardson, the guy, again, we've been talking about seeing Drink's tone and how he talks. It was real like, no. He's not. He didn't lock anything down. We're going to switch something up because we got to get this fixed. That's the way he was talking. Like, it wasn't just like, we'll just give someone else a chance. He was kind of like, it seemed like he was like a little done with whatever was going on,
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, you bring up a good point, right? Like, we try to tell people all the time, we see a very, like, even when you can go see the entire scrimmage, that is still a limited portion of the information at whole. I mean, we're not hanging out with these dudes in meetings. We don't know what these kids are doing the other 22 hours a day. And also, we are not offensive line coaches. Like, I know a lot of people like to say, I mean, look, there are times it is obvious. Sometimes I can watch a football game and go, oh my God, that left tackle was a problem. Or, hey, this guy got beat, or that guy. But there are so many times where those of us who are not coaches or are not watching all 22 or whatever think we know what went wrong on a play, and we don't actually have any idea what went wrong on a play, right? Like, we might watch and say, man, the corner got torched. Well, maybe it was because the middle linebacker did something he wasn't supposed to do, and the safety didn't rotate over. And actually, the corner did everything he could to make it look good, but it just didn't look good. So,
I mean,
like you're saying, you didn't think the left tackle looked bad, but obviously Eli Drinkwitz saw something that he didn't like. So he goes Caden Green to left tackle, Curtis Piegler in at right guard, like we said. So before, I mean, look, we sat here on this show when camp opened, and this is a near direct quote. If we get 3 weeks into camp and all of a sudden Caden Green kick out to left tackle, that ain't a good sign. So 1 to 10 panic scale, where are you at?
Real quick before I go to the scale, back to your point about not knowing anything. I also thought like there could be plays where plays look good, like maybe somebody breaks a big run, but maybe they break that big run in spite of some mess up on the offensive line. Like maybe the running back just made a better play and it makes everybody look good, but the coaches are like, I seen you right guard. I'm just throwing out positions. I see you not do what you were supposed to do. Back to the panic level. I feel like earlier today we used the 1 to 5 scale and we said 3.5 out of 5. So if we're going to equate that, maybe 6.5 out of 10, 7 around that area. I think what happened is they trapped themselves when Brandon Jones told me during spring ball when we asked Caden going to left tackle, and he said no, only if there was an emergency. They don't want to play musical chairs with him. They want to keep him at his spot. I remember thinking like,
so it's an emergency.
I said, all right, coach. All right. You don't want to move him. I feel like at SEC Media Days when we talked to Drink, someone had asked him about Caden Green or something along the lines of, who is going to be battling for left tackle. And Caden Green's name was not one of the 6 or 7 players he was talking about. So the fact that it's 2.5 weeks from game day, and you had all this offseason, if it happened in the spring and Caden Green was out there, nobody would be tripping as much. Even if it happened to start fall camp.
Day one of fall camp.
Even then, at most, it would just be like, okay, this is what it is now. They just didn't like it. But at least he gets all the fall camp. But 2.5 weeks of not doing tackle stuff, and now he's there. Like, for me, Caden could be a good left tackle. I would say what we've seen so far, I don't know if they believe that completely. He may just be better than what they got. And the problem, which you kind of mentioned it earlier, is the corresponding moves with that. Moving Dom from right guard or center or whatever he's been doing to left guard, moving Curtis Piegler up. Like, there's a lot of shuffling around because of that.
So I want to be clear. My personal opinion, and we show you, and we invite your guys' comments and questions, and we'll get to them throughout the show. Like I said, we're going to do some voicemails later, but this is kind of the main topic right now. We show you says the biggest concern should be Caden Green maybe not being a good tackle. And see, I actually don't really agree with that part of it. Like, I think Caden Green will be fine at tackle. Will he be an All-American? I don't know that, obviously. But my concern with this is twofold. Is number one, it clearly, like you said, is not what they wanted to do. They didn't want this to be the solution. They wanted Caden in the interior with Connor Tollison, where they felt like, I mean, again, I hate to keep going back to Chiefs analogies because I know it drives people nuts, but there is one here that they've got Creed Humphrey, Joe Tooney, and Trey Smith in the middle, and they think we have the best interior in the league. We don't have to have the best tackles. We just have to have tackles that can get us by. And then when you discover your left tackle can't even get you by and you break up that interior, not only is your left tackle actually still not good enough, but your interior is now no longer the best in football. It's just 2/3 of it. So it changes everything. But my concern isn't necessarily Caden Green. My concern is now, like, this is the last, like you said, it's the emergency move. What if this doesn't work? Whether that's because Caden Green isn't as good as they hope, or because he just doesn't have time to get ready, or because he gets hurt, or because the interior's not good enough with him. Like, if this doesn't work, I don't know where you go. So I don't think you necessarily have to panic because this move is happening, but I think you're now one thing not working away from having to panic. I mean, you're one step from we don't have a solution.
Yeah, and and I said this to you earlier when we was going to the press conferences or the player interviews. This is not a video game. I know so many people say like your overall. I know in the new game, I think Caden's a 92. You're 92 at left guard. When you start moving people even to the opposite other guard in the game, you stay the same. Your rating may change like a point or two, but you're largely still going to be around how good you are. You can't go from left guard to right guard and usually be elite or just as good. You can't go from left guard to left tackle. There is something to having Connor next to you. And so if we're trying to do some of the math on why maybe Dom is at left guard, the thought process I had is if they have Caden at left tackle.
Okay, I think Gerard froze up on us, so I'm going to take him off the screen for just a minute and let him get his internet rolling again. But okay, Gerard is moving again, so I can see him. So we're going to bring him back on the screen.
Okay,
we're back.
I don't know what that
we're
was,
good.
But get Dom back at left guard and just have those two together. Try to get the blind side together because you feel comfortable with that, and maybe you can. Maybe it doesn't matter as much if it's Curtis Peagler or Logan Reichert because you're worried about that center spot and making sure everything to the left is cool. There's just a lot of musical chairs going on. And you're right. If Caden is just average, you break up what made the best part of the line what it is. And yeah, you may be cool for a few weeks like the Chiefs. You may be cool for a few weeks, get some of these games you're supposed to win, but you run into some real guys, especially in this league. Of all leagues, this is probably it is the worst one to have to do that against because maybe Caden's athleticism as a guard gets.
Yeah, and Gerard, probably going to have you try to restart your internet, log out, log back in, and we'll get it going again. But again, my issue here is not Caden Green. It really isn't. I think Caden Green is a capable offensive lineman, and I think he's a capable left tackle. Like, the day Caden Green transferred here, we all thought he was playing left tackle. And that's where he started out. So my issue is not Caden Green playing left tackle. My issue is only this is not where they started out wanting to be, and this is like plan C. And like Gerard said, it's basically the emergency plan. And so if you were on the emergency plan, then if the emergency plan doesn't go the way that you want it to go, I don't know what the next plan is. And so I think that is interesting. Jason says, could this just be Mizzou practicing all possibilities? Look, guys, this is Eli Drinkwitz's comments after the scrimmage. We got Gerard back on the screen. Gerard, Jason's asking, could this just be Mizzou practicing all possibilities? And I'm just going to say right off the bat, no. And here's why. It's because of what Drink said. Like, all you have to do is listen to what Drink said after the scrimmage and then watch what he did on Monday at practice. Like, it's not he knows when we're there. Like, he jokes about what we can see in practice. He knows when we're there, and he knows exactly when we're leaving because he tells the SID when we have to leave. So if he wants this to be public, he wants everybody to know, I don't think my left tackle play is good enough. Now, I will listen to this is a message to Javen Richardson and Johnny Williams. Hey, you better pick it up if you want to play. But this is not just him doing a contingency plan in front of the media for funsies. That's not a thing he's going to spend any time doing in August.
That's true. And considering how close the games are, why would you take what many believe is your best offensive line player and take reps at left guard away from him to put him at left tackle to prove a point? He could have took any other tackle like Brandon Solis, even Jack Lang, whatever you wanted to do to prove that point. If it's you got to step your game up, you wouldn't take your best player and move him there and hamper him.
Right. So no, I don't think it's like, I understand you guys are out here looking for, the silver lining and trying to make this positive, but that I'm a little too, I don't believe that. I can't find the comment right now, but somebody had said and Billy's not here tonight, so I'm doing double duty, so I may miss a few things, but somebody said in the comments something about Javon Foster. He might be the most underrated player in recent Mizzou history. Like, I didn't realize that Javon Foster, A, was as good as he was, and B, was going to be as important as he was, because, I would hate it if we get to the end of this year and go, boy, just put Javon Foster on this team, and maybe it's, whatever.
This all makes me think, can't tell if it's me. This all makes me think just why during the winter portal, I'm sure they tried, but all the resources.
Yeah, they did go after some guys, but
all the resources gotta go. Because I know once that spring portal hits, everybody's pretty much at where they're going to be at. You're not going to find left tackles at in April. How they found Marcus Bryant, I know you're going to say he's drafted, but be honest with y'all. When he got drafted,
I thought he was average last year. First half of the year below average. Second half of the year he was
okay. Yeah, that's fair. I will tell you, when he got drafted, there was a lot of shocked people on the beat. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was surprised.
So yeah, and that was good to get him last year. So I don't know. It just make me think wintertime, you got to buckle down, because left tackle is not a position I'm going on and saying, I got a guy from West Virginia who kind of played. I got a JUCO guy who hasn't played, but he's been here a year. Like, that's a position you need to know what you're doing.
And in fairness, I mean, their plan was they went after Howard Sampson from North Carolina and had him on a visit. And as I remember, felt pretty good about where things were. And then Howard Sampson ended up at Texas Tech. And we know what Texas Tech has done. Like, that's just, nobody is competing with them in the money they're spending right now. So I think that was the plan, was him at left tackle. The problem is after that, the plan, I don't remember exactly who else they went after, but obviously then it kind of just turned into, hey, Richardson and Williams. So again, Caden Green, I actually think the more interesting part of this is Curtis Piegler, because in no way if you told me they're moving Caden Green out to left guard or out to left tackle, I'm going, okay, well, I guess it's Tristan Wilson, maybe Jalen Early. Like, Gerard, I hadn't heard Curtis Piegler's name. Like, I don't think anybody's mentioned Curtis Piegler's name this game. And I'm not saying that's not because we just kind of forgot about him. It shocked me when he was the guy.
Yeah, well, Coach Jones said in spring ball he had a good he said Curtis had a good spring. At SEC Media Days, Drink brought up Curtis as another one who had a good spring. But then again, remember, anytime coaches are talking about players and like an overview, 9 times out of 10 they just name the whole roster and say right. So it's kind of hard. I think Curtis is interesting to me because, one, he has 34 career snaps. They all came last year on special teams. So he doesn't have any offensive snaps. He's been here since 2022. You got Logan Reichert, and I know that's the name everybody's, that's the biggest guy on the team. They affectionately call him Big Show. Well, Big Show still working with the second unit, but you would think if it's not Tristan, who I kind of put in a different category because they're still trying to find out backup center between him and Dom, so I'm not really worried as much. But if it's not Tristan, you would think it's Big Show, and the fact that it's not Big Show, or it wasn't at least for that particular day, what's going on?
So a couple points there. I've seen this, and I will allow for it being possible. Hey, Tristan Wilson would be there, but they're getting him work at center.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to start at right guard, he has to start getting the work in practice at right guard. And maybe he is later in practice after you, and maybe that's what you guys are saying. Like, hey, he's just doing this drill with center, and then he's doing right guard stuff later, maybe.
No. For that, I'm saying like when we seen the tempo drill on Monday, and he was doing like the center work,
right?
Like the backup center work. I would think if Dom is at left guard, Tristan would then move into starting right guard. But because they're still trying to figure out the backup center thing behind Connor, let's still see if he's doing that. That's why I'm not like, why isn't it Tristan Wilson? Well, they're still trying to figure out, because what's more important with Connor missing so many days of fall camp, I mean, it's only been a couple of days, but the injury, the rest days, stuff like that, that's more important because you lose your center, you're losing a quarterback on the offensive line. You can plug a lot of players at right guard, but feeling comfortable at center, like they did with Drake Heismeyer last year, I think is a little bit more important to them.
Yeah, I guess my point would be, I hope what is going on is he's doing that drill with the centers. And then if he's actually the guy that's going to start at right guard, I hope the hour and 30 minutes that we can't see, he's actually playing right guard.
Oh, right. Oh.
You ain't leaving him at center all practice if he's going to start at right guard.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Because I was thinking, well, I think Dom is going to be right guard, but I guess if they're moving him,
but now Dom's left guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's and you mentioned Reichert. Here's the one that to me, this is alarming. Jalen Early. Like, you don't bring transfers. Like, Logan Reichert was a high school kid that you want to develop. And I understand it's been, and look, I fully agree. If Logan Reichert's not on the field this year, like that, he's probably not going to be on the field. But I mean, you don't get offensive line transfers to not play. And if neither him or Johnny Williams is playing this year, that's a little alarming to me.
That is a very good point. Real early, we kind of knew, and I feel like Drink said it during his media.
No pun intended.
Yeah, real early, we knew that he'd be playing with the guards instead of the tackles. I think he played left tackle last maybe 2023. And he was on the right side mainly last year at right guard and right tackle. So it doesn't surprise me that he's not doing left tackle. But, yeah, the fact that they were just like, Dom, let's move you. We can't even keep the guy we've been working at first team right guard. We can't even keep him there. That is a problem. If Johnny Williams doesn't work out at tackle, you would have liked to think it's because Javen just outperformed him, not because him and Javen Richardson are not doing well. Like that's two spots on the roster where I don't know, it hurts.
Yeah, and the last point on this, I mean, we haven't really even talked about Curtis Piegler. Like he I mean, we mentioned him briefly, but I was very impressed today. We got to interview him, and that interview is up on our YouTube channel. All the interviews from this afternoon are. You guys can check that out. But what I was most impressed by was anytime he got a question that even approached the depth chart or starting or anything, he just had this big old smile, and he just said, "I'm just blessed to be playing football, man." You know, like he was coached up well before that interview. He was not even going to touch it.
It feels more genuine coming from him, though, because, yeah, he doesn't get to play. I'm sure, like, for a lot of –
he's not in control, but, like, we're sitting there and you're seeing him at first team. So, like –
no, but what I'm saying is –
but he ain't even going to talk about it.
But I'm saying, like, now he's getting to play. But for years – him playing has probably been, when they do the Monday night football scrimmages, with the second and third teams and the freshmen, like what we saw on Saturday, that's kind of for what the most part they do during the season on Mondays, and they let the other guys play. And so I know he's just like, it just feels genuine because, yeah, he doesn't get to play. This is his opportunity. I'm not going to say nothing that can mess up.
Not going to jinx it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, offensive line is the one place where it does not concern me at all if a kid's not on the field until his third year in the program. Sometimes even fourth. Like it's the one position where it does take time, and you do see guys all of a sudden as you know, redshirt sophomores, redshirt juniors come in and all of a sudden play. I mean, if you're a wide receiver or a running back and you're entering your redshirt junior year and you haven't gotten offensive snaps, like you got to go somewhere else. It's never going to happen. But offensive line, I certainly think that can happen plenty. So I like to me that's really the only. I don't know. Do you want to touch on quarterback for 2 minutes before we go check out some of the voicemails? I mean,
What do y'all?
I mean, I'll start. I'll tell you where I'm at.
Where you at?
I think he knows who his quarterback is. I don't think he's going to tell us, but I think he knows. It is my belief that Bo Prabula will likely start the Central Arkansas game. I mean, look, I'm going to keep open this is where we do the national writer thing of barring a last minute change of heart, right? Like this is not a guarantee that Bo Prabula is the starter. I can't say that because Eli Drinkwitz isn't saying it. I think he's going to start. And I wrote this yesterday. What I'm most intrigued by is to see like how the snaps are handled, right? Because if they're handled like they were in that 2023 opener, like even though Drink hadn't said it publicly, we knew the quarterback race was over because Sam Horn didn't get any sort of a chance to really play. Like if it's a quarterback competition, I have to see both guys play in a situation where if they screw up, there are consequences. If you come into a 34-7 game in the third quarter, there are no consequences, and that's not a quarterback competition to me.
Do you think it's something they could do where the first quarter, they're alternating drives, or is that too much change? Is somebody get the first quarter, somebody get the second? And the reason I'm saying that is because of what you just said. If it's Central Arkansas, you should be up like 28-0 by halftime anyway, and you don't want to give someone those reps. So do you think you could alternate drives?
I wouldn't alternate drives because I think that's too much. Like, what happens if the center steps on your foot? Well, that doesn't happen because they're in the shotgun. But what happens if a running back just drops a handoff or something, and all of a sudden, or a pass pops off of a guy's shoulder pad, and that derails the drive? Like, I think you've got to go at least 2 or 3 series with the first guy. But then, I want to see the other guy at the start of the second quarter if this is actually a competition you're trying to decide in week 1. And again, who knows? Eli Drink, they might send a tweet out in 5 minutes and say, hey, here's our starting quarterback. I don't think they will, but you never know. But I'm just saying, I think he's closer to a decision than he is telling us publicly.
I could also see, I feel like a lot of times when I know they've been alternating a lot. And at this point in practice, I see who's snapping, but I'm not doing the same. Well, this person took this snap first, and I'm looking at the other stuff. Right. We're talking about the two deep and stuff at other positions now. But part of me wouldn't be surprised if Sam started the game, because I feel like part of this is Drink starting who
the guy who starts has to be the guy who has the lead. It has to be. And so if Sam Horn starts, to me, he's the likely starter.
I'm just saying it feels like some days, if you would have asked me who's the first day of camp, who's going to be repping with the ones, I would have said Bo. And so the fact that it's been Sam, or when we did the scrimmage, it was Sam who got the ball first. I want to say he had Tollison and a couple other starting offensive linemen. It just looks like he's pointing it so much in one direction where it's just but I'm with you. I think it's Bo. And it's more so just from, I think it's Bo. There's a lot of reasons. You go NIL. I can go in practice. He just looks, from what we can see, he just looks a little bit more settled in as a quarterback to me. I don't think Sam's that far behind, but for me, I'm just I can see why they like this guy. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know some people that tend to know some things, right? And nobody is saying Bo's the starter. but most people seem to be saying, I think Bo's going to be the starter. So we'll see where it goes. Show Me Football says, do you think Drink will actually tell the team who the QB is before it is announced? I mean, he has to. That's more important than Twitter but here's the thing. He can't tell the team too long before it's announced, because I don't know if you saw Gerard last night. Alabama named Ty Simpson the starting quarterback. And like, I started seeing immediately post on Twitter of like, everybody got the news at the same time. And some of them even said the team has been informed. So yes, he will tell the team. And then like 5 minutes later comes the news leak. Cause I'll tell you this, if you don't want some, like, it's why players are often the last to know who the coach is they hire or fire, because as soon as players know, everybody's going to know. Like, they're going to tell a friend who's going to tell a friend who happens to just be a random student who's going to DM me or Gerard or somebody else on the beat. So like, if you tell the team, the news is, you better be ready with that announcement, because the news is coming out soon.
Absolutely. But yeah, Drink don't care about the media like that. So he would definitely tell his team first anyway. But
you have to tell the team first. I mean, I don't think there's any question. I mean, first of all, you have to tell the two guys, right? Like, hey, this is the direction we're going. And then, I feel like you at least owe it, bare minimum, after practice one day to say, hey guys, this is where we're going. And again, this may not be announced before the first game. We'll see where it all goes. But did feel like we should at least touch on that. So, like I said, we asked for voicemails. Want to remind you before we get to those that we are brought to you every week by James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. His information has been going across the bottom of the screen. So if you're watching on YouTube, hopefully you can read and you found that. If you either are listening on the podcast or are watching on YouTube and can't read, no shame, just trying to cover you. CarltonInsurance.net, on the phone at 314-961-4800. Get in touch with our friend James. Tell him you heard about him at Power Mizzou. Get a quote from him. He's going to do a little bit of Mizzou NIL magic for you. So, all right, let's hit the voicemail line. We got a few. We're just going to play these. I have not listened to any of them. I don't know if they're questions. I don't know if they're rants. I don't know if they're people that hate us. We'll
Y'all
see.
should be too. Hello, my name is Chris Palmer from Kansas City, Missouri. MIZZOU, baby, football season's almost here. I am ready. Absolute, probably not super hot take, but I don't care. It's a hot take in my opinion. Tigers going 11-1 this year. We're going to the SEC championship in Atlanta. We're going to beat Texas or Georgia, and then we're going to make a run in the playoffs and show them what it means to play Tiger football, true Tiger football, for all those phony Tiger schools out there. Mizzou's the real Tiger school. We're getting it done this year. Mizzou is winning the national championship. Let's go, baby. It's happening this year. I don't care. I'm just on a wave of confidence right now. It's getting done this year. I'm ready. Y'all should be too.
All right, so I think Mizzou is winning the national championship with, like he said, it's not a hot take. I think it qualifies as a hot take, right?
absolutely. And what's funny is it's not. I get it. A lot of people feel like him. So in a way, it's not a hot take, not for this community. However, what's funny is,
but it is.
Yes. But what's funny is just every sports season, no matter it's football, basketball, college.
And this is every fan base. This is not exclusive to this.
It's our year right now. Like, and everybody, even if your team, your team's the worst in the league or it's the best, we're right here. In the preseason, we right here, man. So it's funny.
The best thing I ever saw sports fan wise back when I was growing up, like the Cubs were awful. And somebody showed up at Wrigley Field on opening day with a sign that said, wait till next year. So that was the one guy in sports history who did not think that was his team's year. So I'm curious, what is your favorite phony Tiger school?
Well, let's think of them. We got Auburn, we got Clemson, we got LSU, we got Missouri. Who else is named?
Memphis. You got Jackson State. You got Princeton. I'm going Princeton as my favorite phony Tiger school, just because I want to call Princeton a phony school because that's hilarious.
If to me, it feels like the odd man out is really Memphis because the first four I named they're in Power Four schools. I, as a HBCU alum, can't put down another HBCU. Princeton is an Ivy League school. I mean, you and your own whatever. So unfortunately,
I mean, let's be honest, man. The Big 12 won't even take Memphis. Be throwing itself at the Big 12, and the Big 12 won't even say yes.
Not trying to sell yourself, and they say, and even the Big 12 is just like, nah, not you.
Memphis just knocking on the Big 12's door. Clothes already off, and the Big 12 is like, nah, we're good for tonight, man. So yeah, Memphis can be the phony Tiger school. So let's hit another voicemail.
Hey, Gabe. Hope all is going well today for you. I just got one question for you today. Are we overhyping Ahmad Hardy? I know he had a fantastic year last year, but it was in the Sun Belt Conference. And now he's going to the SEC this year. And I see everybody projecting him to go crazy, top 5 rush in the SEC. So it's making me a little nervous. What are your thoughts?
Gerard, your thoughts?
I get his point. It's a valid question, coming from the Sun Belt, but from everything we've heard, he's as advertised. Now, is he going to go for 1351 again? Probably not. Now, can he get to 1,000 to 1,100? Yeah, he can get around there. Even if he got to maybe, because Nate Noel got to like 800 something.
And he was hurt half the year.
Yeah, so I think he get to 900 to 1,100. It really depends how much they use Marquise and Jamal, not really his ability, but that's a valid question.
It's a fair question, but I'll also say this, yeah, obviously SEC is going to have better defense than the Sun Belt. You know what I hope Missouri has too? A lot better offensive line than Louisiana Monroe had. He got 1,000 yards after contact, which means he was hit. Do you know offhand how many carries he had? I'm going to guess 230, 240, something like that.
Maybe around 232, 233. Yeah. He had 40 or 50 more than second place in the conference.
Okay, so let's say he had 240 carries. Dude, he only had 320 yards before contact. That means he was getting about 1.3 yards before he was hit, on average. So there's not a lot of busting through big, wide open holes there. So,
yeah. So
if I put the over under at 999.5 yards for Ahmad Hardy, where do you go?
Over.
I do too. I think he's gonna have 1,000 this season. I think it's over 1,000, less than 1,200.
That's about right. I just did this a few weeks ago. I can't remember the number, but it sounds about in that area. I've written too much, Gabe. The carpal tunnel is here now.
Right. It's like people say, hey man, you said this on a show 6 weeks ago. I'm like, I don't know what I said yesterday, man. I say all kinds of stuff. I might have said it. I don't know. So, all right, here we go.
Hey, Gabe and Gerard. I'm calling in for the first time to settle something between me and my boyfriend. As we go into this next season, Ron thinks Marquise Johnson will develop into, a game breaker receiver, but I only really see him as a speed threat. So I need to see him run a full route tree first. And we've been fighting about it. So I need y'all's thoughts on this. What do you think?
Okay, first of all, that might be our first female call. She used the term route tree correctly. She is ahead of many of the male callers we have had at times in the past. So well done. I will say this after talking to Marquise, boy, don't say that where he can hear you. He'll get very offended. He does not like some of the questions that people have been asking this preseason. And he's a pleasant kid. He's not yelling at you or anything, but you can tell he does not like some of the questions he's been getting.
Absolutely. We don't need to dive into that specific part.
Well, but I asked him at media day, what's the next step for you to become that all around complete receiver? And he kind of double take. He's like, I am a complete receiver. He's like, it's opportunity. So I get the point. If Marquise Johnson is only a deep threat this year, I think it will be a big disappointment to him, to Jacob Peeler, to Kirby Moore, and to Eli Drinkwitz.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, being the Z, he's going to have a lot of chance to do a lot of crossers and stuff like that, a lot of motion. The offense for him would really work well because it should get him in space where he can use his speed once he catches the ball. But I remember route tree being something talked about last year for him going into the season. Now, obviously, he's got a lot more first team reps and he gets to do a lot more. We don't really get to see how much of the route tree he's learned. We have to wait like y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's valid. I do think if I asked you who do you have more expectation for? If someone asked me that, I guess Josh Manning or Marquise, I would personally say Marquise. I think Marquise may be able to do a little bit more, but we'll see.
I think you have to say Marquise because Marquise has 730. Like Marquise has been productive for 2 years. With Josh Manning, outside of a snap or two, it is all based on hope and potential. I have seen Marquise Johnson make plays at this level. Like, didn't he catch 9 or 10 balls in that bowl game? Like, Luther didn't play. Theo didn't play much. Marquise Johnson did a lot in that bowl game.
He had picked a great time to have a career. I think it was 7 for 122 and maybe a touchdown.
Yeah, and it wasn't just all deep balls. You don't catch 7 deep balls. Missouri didn't catch 7 deep balls all year. I don't think so.
And I don't think, and I feel like he left some catches out there. I feel like he dropped a couple maybe during that Iowa game.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had a big day.
And so back to the call, it's a fair argument. Like both sides are right now. I think Missouri fully expects to see that complete Marquise Johnson big year this year. All right, next one.
Hey, y'all. Quick question. So, obviously in basketball, the team will do private scrimmages with other teams before the season starts. I wasn't sure in football if that was possible. Maybe Mizzou plays a team like, I don't know, Washington State, some team they're probably never going to face in the playoff or anything like that, and just see how the team does. I wasn't sure if it was because of the possibility of injury or what exactly on why they would never do some kind of a private scrimmage, or maybe they didn't hit the quarterback. Maybe they played 2-in touch half the time. I don't know. Love to hear your thoughts.
It's not a terrible idea, but they don't. And it's for all the reasons he said. They don't want people hurt. They don't want other people knowing their plays. I mean, think about how often coaches move in college football. Like, okay, you play Washington State. Well, first of all, you got to spend money to fly. If they're going to do that, they're going to do it with the team close by. They would be more likely to do it against like Missouri State or Wash U or something. But they don't really do that because think about how often coaches move around the country, right? Like, hey man, the wide receiver coach there may have worked with the wide receiver coach in Kansas last year, and all of a sudden, like, hey man, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but here's some stuff I learned.
Yeah, it's not like the NFL where they do that. And I was gonna go to your first point though, like because I know Deion Sanders, maybe it was Colorado and Texas Tech.
Yeah, he brought that up.
Yeah, like I know they were talking about it, but there's all little logistics in there, and then that alone probably is washing it out. But yeah, that would be.
I mean, I'll say this. I'd much rather see that. Do it in the spring. Like MUKU spring game. It's much better than whatever most of these teams do for a spring game.
They're definitely not, because you don't want to.
Oh, I
know if you lose the spring game, which
right.
You don't want people to think, you don't want your fan base to think the season is tanked because you lost to your rivals with half your roster there.
Speaking of which, a few years ago on the official schedule, KU did count their spring game as a win.
You serious?
On the official website, it had the spring game like 136-17 or something. It was amazing.
Versus themselves?
Versus themselves, yeah. There wasn't a lot of wins in Lawrence, man. They needed to pump one up there. So, all right, we go to the next one.
Gabe, this is Ron in Chicago. A few buddies and I were talking on September 6th. When do you think the first Bright Side is played? And how many do you think they play throughout the game? MIZ.
So, all right. Look, I think at the MUKU basketball game, they like allowed them to play it once. I think it was they have to do it, man. Like if you don't play it there, somebody should be fired. Whoever's in charge, whoever says no, you lose your job. You should play it every single time out. Let the kids have their fun. The F word is not going to hurt anybody.
Yes, but once they started doing it last year with the let's put the words, I forgot what they was doing.
Don't do any of that. Let the kids scream, man.
I agree with you, but college athletics, I mean, you can't even really storm the field no more. Everybody lame. So I don't see that happening. They should, but they'll do it one time. It'll be. When do they usually? Maybe the third quarter. I don't know. It'd be someone.
Yeah, no, they should do it pregame. They should do it instead of the national anthem, and they should do it every TV timeout. And they should have a pregame video of Moon Choi on the scoreboard saying, "We're going to play this song 37 times today, and I fully expect you to use the language that you want to use."
Yeah.
I mean, this is supposed to be fun. Nobody is saying, like, it's fine. If you take your children to that game, they might hear a bad word. I bet they've heard that word in your house before. It's okay.
Yeah. To be honest, that may be the game that some parents let their kids, you know what, you can get it off this one time. You can say this one time. Go ahead.
Stay home. I did see it's posted on our board. Chase Daniel tweeted out something, a quick little like video tease, and said something special is coming. And if you could read lips, and it was not difficult. Like I didn't break this down frame by frame. I watched it one time, and he clearly says this is war. So like they're going to do the pregame production up for this one. I know we talked a couple weeks ago about who should bang the drum, and we talked about Ben Askren. Now, my understanding is that Ben's health is probably not going to allow that. That early in the season. So we'll see who they get and what they do. But I will be disappointed if Missouri does not lean into this. Like this matters to your fans. Eli Drinkwitz is going to play it up. Do everything. Like don't just go, oh yeah, it's just another game. No, do the things. Let the fans have their fun. This is the point.
You have to. And just how long has it been? 12, 13, 14?
2011 was the last time they would have played, so 14 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get if it was, again, how you're playing like Arkansas every year,
right.
But it's been 14 years. You definitely got to jump into Coach Drink. You might as well just be like the fans to a degree and be like, yeah, we hate them.
Yeah. So the before the basketball game, before big basketball games, and it happened before the KU game this year, that Truman like rappels down from the top of Mizzou Arena. Were you here yet? I think it was just like 3 years ago, where they were going to have Truman parachute out of a helicopter or something.
Did they not have somebody fly down though and come into the stadium?
It was going to happen one day. It was going to be Truman one day, and it just was like too windy or too risky. Like the weather didn't cooperate or something. So I feel like maybe that's the day. Like if you can get that to happen, first of all, there's not enough money in being Truman to jump out of a damn helicopter, in my opinion. But you'd probably find somebody that would do it.
Yeah, and you probably get them to do it for cheap too. You could just say you get to do the rivalry game. We'll get you a nice bologna sandwich after. Not even nothing great.
September 6th, you got to stand out at 2:30 in the afternoon in that Truman costume. You're going to lose 40 pounds of sweat. That all sounds miserable to me. I'm out.
The only thing that can make that game better, Gabe, is if it was played at 9 a.m.
Oh, we're already hurting the people, man. The season hasn't even started. All right, we got a few more of these.
Now, Gabe, this your man, Jovan. Full disclosure, Last year, I was the one who wrote the comment, let's not get uppity. But you just put out a video. We got to move our All-American guard to tackle. That's a problem. We out here shelling out real money. Not me in particular, but the people who are paying for everything at the University of Missouri. They shelling out real money. All right, is this a real problem for me? All right, make it real clear. Drink. O-line coach, I think his name Brandon Johnson, or whoever his name is. Hey, bro, go get your skill players from St. Louis, from Kansas City. You can get them O-linemen throughout the Ozarks, and your DN, you can go get them from South Missouri and North Missouri. You know what I'm saying? They got some out there by Truman. But this is a real problem. You should be putting in installs right now. Don't let him mess this up. Drink. Don't mess this up. You got the KU game.
So I don't know. I have two favorite parts of that, and I can't decide which one of them I like more. First, apparently he wants the whole team to only be from Missouri. Like, he will spend all this money, but only get kids from Missouri. But I think the best part is clearly everybody out here spending all this money. Not me. Not my money.
Oh, first off, Gabe, I don't know how you're going to do it, but whenever you do these, he has to have a guaranteed spot. If he calls, he has to have a spot on here.
He's right with Tiger Terry.
I don't care if he called her 100. He got to be in there. That's incredible. 10 out of 10 for him.
Right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, I have a question about the quarterback situation. Obviously, Eli said there really isn't any separation between Sam and Bo at the moment. Is that because you think neither guy is playing particularly well, or because they are both playing very good football, as Eli said? I'm not sure if that's just coach speak or if we should be really concerned about the lack of separation between the two QBs.
I already said I kind of think it's a little bit of coach speak, but I don't know. You saw them both play.
Both.
They play differently, but like, did you come away thinking one was significantly better than the other?
I thought they both played well. Although if you asked me to pick, I would have said Bo, because I think he led 4 touchdown drives. I thought it wasn't 2 minutes because it was like 70 seconds, but basically their 2-minute drill at the end, they're in a game situation. It looked real smooth for him. They got down the field really quick. There was some nice play calling in there, though, honestly, but it just looked simple. Sam, he did his job and got his team down there. I think Craig hit the upright or whatever. But Bo, he did a great job throughout the day. I think it's closer to they're both playing well, but I do think there is some separation to a little degree. I don't think it's just dead even, but there is enough. It's close enough that he can tell everybody else, we don't know. Like you said, he probably either has his guy in mind or he's already knowing where he's leaning mostly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before we hit the last couple of voicemails, I did see the super chat from Freeway Gerard earlier for the Moneyline Mateer Venmo Fund. We were talking about that today. First of all, just keep your Venmos private, or don't make jokes on the subject line. I don't really, honestly, I don't even care if John Mateer did bet on USC, UCLA. I mean, whatever, good for him. Doesn't bother me at all. But that appears to have all blown over. So, but Gerard, we appreciate the super chat, man. Always appreciate you being here. Let's hit these last couple of voicemails.
Gabe, it's Drew. Just checking in to see if there was any update on getting me and Gerard out to Vegas to hit up the Uno tables. Let me know. Thanks.
I love a team player.
Drew has to use the voicemail line because I blocked his text because I'm getting tired of Uno discussions. He texts me now. He's like, "Hey, can I go to Vegas and play Uno?" I'm like, "New phone. Who dis?"
Hey, I feel it. You know what? Drew, that's why you got to get somebody like Drew on your team. He dedicated. He's off right now doing whatever. And he said, I got a call to let Gabe know what he needs to do for us. And I appreciate it.
I heard there's going to be a big Uno showdown on Saturday night after the fight viewing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on Saturday,
Drew did tell me he was hosting fight night on Saturday night, and I said, like, you guys fighting each other? Because I will come to watch that. But apparently that's not what he meant. Apparently what he meant was there's fights that are going to, for the next 7 years, be on Paramount Plus, which if you pay full price for a 24/7 subscription, you can also get free access to. So we might throw that out there if you are a fight fan like Gerard and Drew and many others out there.
We got Gabe, king of the Segway. Love it.
Exactly. I get that promo in. All right, we got one more voicemail. I have not listened to this one. I do happen to know who it is, though.
Gabe, Tiger Terry. I tell you what, Gabe, it's not the big plate of frog legs I ate for dinner last night, give me indigestion today. It's this Missouri QB battle. I'm sure everybody else is saying it, Gabe, but I'm getting a little concerned. Like Grandpappy used to tell me, Terry, if you got 2 bulls in the barn and you don't know which one of them's worth giving it to your heifers, you ain't got 2 bulls, Terry. You got a whole bunch of ground beef, brother. And let me tell you, it is concerning to me that Eli Drinkwitz can't tell which one of these 2 fellers is the best one to sling the rock. At what point in time, Gabe, does it become irresponsible for Eli Drinkwitz to not name a starter? Because we got KU coming in here week 2. You're not playing Little Sisters of the Poor North Texas, okay? You're not playing Arkansas School for Blind wallpaper hangers. You got a Power 4 team, and I want to know who's slinging the rock, and I want them getting first-team reps. Second question for you, Gabe. With the new North End Zone project, do you know, are they going to do what the true sons want and put troughs in the bathroom, or are they going to do some of those sissy urinals? I'm Team Trough. Fight Tiger.
I legitimately need somebody to explain to me why. Like, is it just because it's faster and more people can pee at the same time? Like, I know people really support the troughs, and I'd never really have known why.
Okay, I could just answer the football part.
You didn't think this is where we were going, did you?
No, it wasn't there.
See, Tiger Terry's always been a basketball caller, so I'm not sure how familiar you are with Tiger Terry's regular work on the voicemail line.
I don't feel like I've heard it. What I guess I just broke down was basically the old adage: if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none. The only thing is, we just finished the 2nd week of fall camp, and Kansas game is 3.5 weeks away. I get what you're saying, but that's still a good chunk of time to figure things out. Now, I wouldn't want to be past Central Arkansas still doing this, which means both players would have had to play that game versus Central Arkansas. But right now, you'll be all right. Like we said, I feel like you said you want them, or you would like for them to know the quarterback before the first game.
I think it'd be ideal before the first game, but you have to know before KU. They can't both play against KU. That's the point. It becomes irresponsible.
Irresponsible, yes. But I think most of his thing felt like it's just annoyance right now. So where can you stop the annoyance? Because I think right now they're fine.
Most of his thing is it's a bit. It's a good bit. We enjoy it. But like, what do you think Eli Drinkwitz's reaction would be if the next time we talk to him, I said, Eli, would you prefer Bo Prabula or Sam Horn be giving it to your heifers, to use the Tiger Terry?
Well,
I feel like that it is hard to get Drink off his game, but I think that would get him off his game.
I feel like that's a weird question just because
I'm just using the Tiger Terry language.
No. It's a weird question. Drink did have a questionable thing a couple years ago. I feel like it was after the Kansas State game with the the Brady Cook and my daughter's thing.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if I want.
I want to be clear. When I said you were heifers, that was in no way what I was referencing.
Oh no, but it was something where I was just like, he's actually said something where I'm just like, did you mean to say that one? So let's keep that one out the. We don't got to ask that one.
Okay. Apparently, Booth and Tobacco says that the troughs are space efficient and liberating. Space efficient, I get. I don't really need liberating when I pee, but I don't know.
And personally, I appreciate the space. It makes me feel like no one's doing no peeking. No one wants to do any talking. Let's just handle our business.
You like the urinals with the walls between them?
Absolutely. And also that kind of breaks, I feel like it's an unwritten rule. When you go in there and you see stalls, there's got to be space between one.
Yeah.
If you got this little
it is I feel like it's written now. Like if there are 3 urinals, if you're at one end, and the other 2 are open, you got to use the one on the other end. You can't step in the one right next to me. So with the trough, like how close is too close here? Like you can't, definitely no touching shoulders. That's not allowed.
Yeah, I don't ever got to pee that bad.
I don't. You just wait till you get about 49 years old, Gerard. You might take that back about 22 years.
Well, see, Gabe, that's why I'm in the gym every day before training camp now. So I could try as much as I can to limit all of that stuff.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes, man, just nature takes its course.
Nah, Gabe, let's not wish nature on me at all in that way.
I feel like this show is going downhill fast. But encourage you all to get in touch with James Carlton. James Carlton is spending his money on NIL, not our earlier caller. Other people are.
Not Javon.
Not Javon, right? But James, he is doing some of it, and he wants you to spend some of your money with him. So get in touch with him, carltoninsurance.net. Give him a call, 314-961-4800. Tony Mathis says we're getting too personal. Look, I tend to agree. I mean, frankly, this whole show is based on people getting on here and telling us to take our shirts off every week. So I don't really know what's too personal for you guys. But I agree with you in this particular case. Do want to mention 50% off your first year, $1 for your first month, still going on another couple of weeks. But don't wait a couple of weeks. Gerard's been killing it from camp, all kinds of coverage on the site. So check us out there. Like, comment, share, subscribe, say good things. Be back tomorrow morning with PM and the AM. And next week, Gerard, get ready. Next week's show is the fantasy draft. So and this year we're both drafting quarterbacks because we don't even have to just say both teams get Brady Cook. So quarterbacks in play this year. So start doing your research.
I gotta pick my players at the right moment. I'm picking, sometimes I'm going too early. I forgot what it was, if it was spring ball or something, but you was just like, well, I don't have to get a quarterback. I can just get one, a better position because of that. So it's like playing chess with you, Gabe. So don't worry. I'm going to be ready.
All right. Join us then, guys, next week. Appreciate you hanging out. We'll talk to you next time.